All right, what is up, y'all? I'll be going over three trades that I've taken ever since last night, Sunday. So basically, to start off, we see this pre-market, or not pre-market, we see Asian session. So like I said, around 10:30 p.m. Eastern. And so basically, we see this 15 minutes fair value gap right here. And I start to see a retracement into this fair value gap. So I'm looking to take a short. I'm looking to take a short simply because on basically every single other time frame, we are still bearish. We are looking to hopefully sweep this sell side liquidity right here. We have lows over here and we have lows right here. And so I'm really thinking that we'll come down and sweep these lows. And so obviously we didn't sweep it with this. So I'm thinking we're gonna sweep it with these candles to the downside after we get a retracement to this fair value gap. And so we finally get a retracement into this fair value gap. And essentially, we are looking for what we always look for. So around 21:30, um, we are looking for an entry. So 21:40, 21:40. So okay, so then we see a, oh shoot, sorry guys, I need to see the 5 minute here real quick. So if we zoom in right here, we see we see that we end up getting, after we retrace into this fair value gap, we end up getting a break of structure on this candle. And so from here, I'm looking for a retracement now into the equilibrium of this downwards move. No fair value gap right here, but if we get a retracement to this equilibrium of the downwards move, that's enough for me. So at around 9:45, I'm looking for an entry. And so 9:45, uh, it's right here. No, bro, I keep, fuck. I'm so sorry. I keep going to the wrong day. So it was right here. Okay. Let's see if I can get it right this time. Holy crap. So we retrace into this fair value gap, right? We see this downwards move. I'm pretty sure this was also an equilibrium play. Yeah, so an equilibrium play, we retrace into equilibrium, we retrace into this fair value gap. And now I'm just looking for a break of structure or, enough selling pressure to the downside. And so we end up coming up here, we end up getting enough selling pressure, and from here I'm just looking for a retracement back into this area. So retracing the fair value gap, we get enough selling pressure to the downside, and from here, right, we end up getting a fair value gap on the 5 minute. So as long as we can retrace back into this fair value gap and get a 1 minute break of structure, I'm willing to take it. So we retrace into this fair value gap. We do not get closure above it. We do not inverse it. And so now here, starting 22:05, I'm looking for a 1 minute break of structure to the downside. Okay. So after we retrace back into this 5 minute fair value gap, I'm looking for a 1 minute break of structure. We end up seeing this low. We end up closing right here. Our stop loss is above this fair value gap, this 5 minute fair value gap. We don't even go into it, honestly. It was a good trade. And then we end up coming down and we end up taking profit very successfully off of these draws on liquidity. Obviously, I like to have them a little bit higher. We could have put it all the way down here, but I'm happy with the trade. It was a 1 to 2.42, so a very, very good trade last night to take. And I guess I'll honestly go over the trades I took today in a separate video because I'm running low on time. I have to get somewhere real quick, but I will be posting my trade recap from today. I ended up taking one loss and one win. Ended up taking profit today, or ended up profitable for the day today. But I'll be going over these trades um, in another video. So I guess this is just part one of the three trades that I've taken so far. So I will see you boys. All right, boys. So this will be part two for you guys right here. I'm gonna just do a one video thing. I'm not gonna do multiple videos, but yeah, I'm gonna be going over my trade from today. And so we can see obviously a lot of markings. So let me just go ahead and scale out for you guys to give you guys an idea of what I was working with. I did take a pre-market trade, simply because I saw a good setup. So yeah, obviously, we see buy side liquidity up here, and then we see sell side up down here. And I heard a lot of people talking about after the fact that I took my trade, I heard a lot of people talking about how we had, like with daily liquidity down here and stuff that we wanted to sweep or something, or monthly liquidity, something like that. But honestly, first of all, I didn't see it, but even then, I don't think that that would have really been, I guess, a reason for me to have been bullish for the day, simply because we were, simply still bearish on our time frames. And because of the fact that I had a pretty good setup. So we saw this equilibrium from up here all the way down to right here. And so I saw a retrace right around 7 a.m. or, around that time, around 7:50, around that time I started seeing a retracement to this hourly fair value gap, right? And so we obviously came into this equilibrium. We have this fair value gap right here that we're retracing into. And then we also had a 15 minutes. Oh, I'll get to that later. So we retrace into this fair value gap right here. And my first trade, um, so yeah, we get the retrace into the fair value gap. If I can just identify it real quick for you guys. My first trade, let's see, I think it was this one right here. Yes, so we retrace into this fair value gap. We see pretty decent selling pressure to the downside. We get a 5 minute break of structure. And so we get that selling pressure off of this fair value gap right here, the at 1 hour fair value gap. And right here, I'm looking for a retracement, right? And so one thing that my friend pointed out to me was that we had a fair value gap right here that we ended up inversing on this candle, right? And so I didn't wait for the 1 minute break of structure to the downside. I simply entered off of the retracement. I'm pretty sure that's what I did. I could definitely go back and check and see what I ended up doing here. And so, yeah, no, we got this huge candle to the upside. We had no break of structure to the downside, and I decided to enter short because obviously my bias was, oh, okay, we're bearish, right? We get the retracements to the fair value gap. We get the 5 minute retracements back up here. I think into another fair value gap. I'm not sure, or no, it was equilibrium retrace, and then we enter short. So we inversed a 5 minute fair value gap on the way up, and then we didn't wait for a 1 minute break of structure to the downside. So that's really the main mistake on this trade right here. I got stopped out really quickly. It was a 1 to 1.78 risk to reward. And so that was my first losing trade. I lost just a little on that one. It wasn't too much. I was still profitable um, from last night's trade here, so I wasn't too upset. Definitely something to reflect on for sure. But and then the second trade was, let me see if I can scale out right here to the 15 minutes, see what I was doing because I'm very tired right now. I can't really remember what I did earlier today, so let me just see. Okay, so one thing is we had a bearish SMT here on the Nasdaq. I didn't end up taking it on the S&P. I took it on the Nasdaq. Um, uh, I'm not sure. Yeah, we definitely had an SMT though. I think it was off of these highs down to these highs. We had an SMT, something like that. We had a bearish SMT in play right here. Ultimately, though, we do see the retracement still into this fair value gap right here. We see the SMT form. We see bro, if I could just figure out what the hell I did here, dude. I think this was an order block. Yeah, this was an order block right here. And so yeah, we see that we end up getting a after the break of structure here, we retest this fair value gap right here, but we go back into this 5 minute order block. And from here, um I'm simply yeah, after we get rejection off of this order block, I decided to enter. And so I can show you guys. And so essentially the whole idea is we get a retracement into this 1 hour fair value gap. First trade was a mistake because we waited for the retracement, but we got an inversion of a 5 minute fair value gap on the retracement up. And we didn't wait for a 1 minute break of structure back to the downside. And so essentially We see a retracement back into the fair value gap into this order block, and I think we just enter off of a 1 minute break of structure to the downside or something along those lines. I genuinely cannot remember. It was something along those lines. Or sorry. This is where we got the 1 minute break of structure. This is where we got the 1 minute break structure. After we got the 1 minute break of structure, after we got stopped out, I entered short again, and price ended up chopping. The stop loss was above this draw on liquidity, and the take profits, I think it was up here. I'm not fully sure. I was adjusting things, but it was something along these lines. It could have been a little bit lower, targeting some sort of sell side liquidity. So, and then after I moved my stop loss all the way down above, it was like a 1 to 26 risk to reward or something. Maybe I'm wrong, but essentially what it was, we moved our stop loss above this fair value gap that we had right here. After we got the retracement back and we continued downwards, I just decided to move my stop loss to right here. And we ended up taking profits. I was considering entering another position right here, but I didn't. But that would have been another good trade, a retracement into this fair value gap right here. And so that is just a quick trading recap for you guys. I hope you guys got some sort of value from this video. Sorry that I was super slow with identifying what the hell I did today, but I'll definitely do my best to catch you guys up quicker on what my trade was for the day on my next video. So I appreciate you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe. I will see you boys in the next one.